Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Joe Wednesdays. This is JHaubz, and here's my weekly update for you. Actually, the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit was what I noticed when I was editing my last Joe Wednesday video. I thought it was a little funny. Um, there were two things I immediately noticed as I started to edit. One is that my volume was much louder than a lot of my previous Joe Wednesdays, which, give or take, it might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Um, but the other thing, I guess to take a little bit of a step back, I've noticed in a lot of my previous Joe Wednesday videos that you don't really think about how you look when you're speaking because obviously you don't see your own face when you're talking. But after seeing enough of my Joe Wednesday videos, I kind of noticed that I kind of talk off to the side of my mouth a little bit, and I wasn't really quite sure the reason of it, but I was just kind of like, oh, this must just be my quirky thing or whatever my face does when I'm talking, whatever. But I realized last week or last week's video, everything kind of looked just a little more centered. Like I think I still kind of favor one side versus the other when I'm talking, but my overall movement was more centered. And I think it was because my wisdom teeth were actually in the way of me opening my mouth comfortably. So I was kind of going off to the side of my mouth to go with the angle of my upper wisdom teeth so that they wouldn't catch anything as I was speaking. So for a really long time, I noticed that I was talking sideways kind of like this to just avoid the pain. And now I don't necessarily have to do that anymore. Now, of course, I say that I'll probably start doing it again just out of reflex, but so yeah, so it's kind of interesting that you get the wisdom teeth out and there's an immediate change. So that was kind of fun to see. Um, but yeah, so I guess moving past that, the next day was a trip with Lydia. So we were going to take her with us to see our behavioral therapist so that we would actually have an in-person appointment with her. We haven't had in a real long time because for one there were COVID concerns, back in 2020. So we hadn't actually seen her in person for a very long time. But and then just doing it digitally was just kind of more convenient for me and Ashley's work schedules. But anyway, so this, last Thursday, we were going to go see her in person. So we were going to keep Lydia at daycare and we are going to drive up there, all that kind of stuff. We wake up, do our normal morning routine, that kind of stuff. We go downstairs, get Lydia a snack before we come back upstairs. And a couple things happened in rapid succession. First, Lydia almost tips over her entire little plastic snap together dresser on herself. I managed to catch it and mostly everything on top of the drawers, except for this one little flower pot her mom put on there that proceeded to tip over and just dump soil down two open drawers of clean clothes. It was like, no, why? Oh God, it's got to clean that up. Okay. Now, to my credit, I think I kept myself relatively calm, and I didn't go "Oh God, why'd you do that?" I was just like, "Well, accidents happen, don't they?" So we went downstairs and we grabbed the vacuum and we started cleaning everything up. As I'm in the middle of cleaning stuff up, I hear Lydia cough really loud behind me. And to the point that I had a little hand vacuum running. I turned it off, and I looked behind me. I'm like, Lydia, are you okay? That sounded kind of hard. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well let's get a little bit of water. Might help you kind of wake everything up down there and wet your whistle. So I turned the vacuum back on and I'm doing this, and she has her water bottle. She comes up behind me, coughs really hard again, and then starts puking. And it was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna put. Yeah. Okay. And then, I just pick her up and I take her into the bathroom so she can finish whatever she's got to do in there. And apparently, my going, okay. Apparently, that accurately translated to Ashley as, hey babe, I'm gonna need a hand in here. It's because she was sleeping. She got up and came into the room and started cleaning up in there. Um, so that happened. We cleaned Lydia up. We got her like a little bit of water and some stuff because I think just what I there was either a stomach bug going around at her daycare, something from that night's dinner didn't agree with her or something like that. But she honestly didn't feel like she was, or didn't seem like she was acting too like in pain, uncomfortable, that kind of stuff. So we weren't too worried about it. It's like, okay, you got it out of your system. Okay, good, and we moved on. And then, as we were getting ready to go to the appointment and getting some breakfast and all this kind of stuff, Ashley's in the pantry, and I'm sitting outside just eating a bowl of cereal, and I just hear her go, "Oh," like, honey, are you okay? Is everything all right? And I opened the pantry door, and I like, have you like, what are those, like, I don't know how many ounces, but the containers of powdered Gatorade, um was upside down, tipped over, and all its contents are on the floor, and kind of, you know how like, especially like the cool blue Gatorade kind of gets a little like misty when it hits a surface or something like that. So yeah, so there's like this light little mist on the floor of our pantry, and like there's an entire amount of this Gatorade powder because it was mostly full, and it's like, oh god, all right. And I'm like, what? It's not even 7:30. We've had like 3 major messes in the last 5 freaking hours or so. So yeah, so it was quite the morning to get all sorted out. I did manage to clean everything up before we left to the doctor's appointment. Now, our behavioral therapist is in the Cincinnati area, so it was about a 35 minute drive for us to get there. We're on the highway the most of the way, but when we get off, Lydia starts puking again. like not before we go, not in the middle of the drive, but right at the end when we get off the highway, that's when she starts losing, and like, like she had like an oat bar or something like that, so just it's all over the place. It's like, oh, why? So it's like, well, okay, I guess we'll go and see if the therapist is okay with us using the bathroom, because if she is sick, we don't want to bring her in there, but if she's not, it'd be nice to just strip her down and put her in the spare clothes. That I was very thankful I decided to leave in the car, because I'm like, she's getting older now, she's relatively potty trained. Do we really still need to have these changes of clothes? Yes, you do need those, because obviously things can still go up a creek really quick. So we get her cleaned up. We have a brief conversation with our therapist about, rescheduling and all that. And then we head back home, and it's like, well, we're keeping Lydia at home today. So yeah, and that was all in like the morning. So everything else after that, I don't even remember most of the rest of the day. I probably had some work and whatever. I don't know. But it was quite the 2 days of stuff going on. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there was anything worth mentioning this weekend. It was relatively quiet and peaceful. We had some friends over Sunday, had a good time, exchanged gifts for Christmas, since both of us are going to be with our respective families for the holiday. So, and yeah, no, I think I'll cut myself off here. That's pretty much it. So, hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I hope everybody travels safely for the holidays and whatnot, and has a good time, safe time, and all that kind of stuff, and still stay safe, because I mean, it's been kind of weird for me doing, like, I've been back in my office working since about February, March, and I mean, like, there haven't really been any issues health wise with anybody. So I mean, it's kind of, it's this weird dissonance I'm experiencing, because I'm like, at one point, like I'm around all my coworkers, and my regular day-to-day is completely normal feeling, but like, like COVID is still a thing out there, because I mean, like, I've had some family members having some, like a friend of a friend, or people they know having issues, and so still stay safe out there, and it's like, it's not quite done yet. Whatever is going on out there, it's like, it's not quite done. But yeah, so stay safe, and be well, and be healthy, and make the right decisions with it. You know, like keep yourselves safe, but then try to have some fun with the holiday, but do it safely and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, sorry, rambling again. So have a good one. We may or may not see you next week. I don't know if I'm going to film and be able to edit while I'm traveling for the holidays and that kind of stuff. It may be just a straight upload to YouTube off my phone versus being able to edit, and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, have a good one. See you later. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, that's it for this week. Click up on this video to see my previous Joe Wednesday, and click down here. YouTube thinks you'll like this video off my channel. So, see you next time. Bye.